All right, so first off, let's start with the hardware. It's like the easiest thing to pick apart. The first thing I noticed from this device is the orange Boox. Now, after seeing it on the website, I didn't think much of it, to be honest with you. It was just like, oh, it's got orange in the name and stuff. You don't see this on any of their other products, just this one. Why? The next few things I'm going to talk about is going to be related to the operating system. It's not very functional. There's lots of reasons why I don't like this. The first reason I don't like it, and the biggest reason, would be the fact that they don't have any widgets. For right now, for what the device actually comes with, there's really no customization for a home screen, and there's really no home screen at all either. I can definitely see the colors being more differentiated on the Tab Mini C than on the Note Air 3C. Sticking with the hardware and the front of the device, there is a hollow spot here. I did notice that you cannot search up folder names and you can't even favorite folders, which I think you should be able to do that. I might know a little something about device and UX design, just saying. Alright, so I just want to talk more about the devices that were released recently, the Note Air 4C, the Note Max, and the Palma 2. I was kind of like talking about the release in my last video about it, and a lot of the stuff I wasn't too sure about, but I have a little bit more information and a little more detail, so I have a more informed opinion about it. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So first up, we got the Note Air 4C, and how do I feel about it? I've seen a couple reviews, so I have some idea of what it is and what it is not at this point. And I do know a little bit more about the screen technology. If you haven't seen that video, definitely check that out. I will link that right up here. But essentially, it's just giving some information about this improved Kaleido 3 screen that's in the Note Air 4C. I'm not impressed with the device as a whole. Like most people, I'm more impressed with the software that you get with the device. I'm definitely getting the device. I probably should have it by the end of this coming week. But that's what I'm more interested in, right? The software that comes with it, because right now it's going to be the only device that has it. Maybe the Palma has a version of it when it comes out, it looks like, as well. And we don't even know when the Note Max is coming. So for a while, this may be the only device that you get that that firmware version 4.0 and that new Neo Reader version 3.0 with. Someone also said something about Boox Super Refresh, the BSR 2.0. That's crazy. So I did some research about that. I was lied to. I can't believe I fell for it. Point being, that's not a thing. And but what is a thing is the new software, and that being what I'm so looking forward to. So I am looking forward to the software, not so much the hardware. But as far as the hardware goes, though, and we don't have that many hardware differences in the device. Boosted RAM from 4 to 6. We have an improved processor. I'm not sure exactly what that means. If I have some solidified detail, I'll put that up here as well. Yeah, I'm not impressed by the specs. And someone mentioned that the spec bumps were more about just bumping up for speed, right? They're about the new Android 13 that they all come with. I suppose Android 13 runs better with 6 gigabytes of RAM. I don't know, man. And AI definitely is going to be able to take advantage of these, like I mentioned in the last video too. So all of these things, right, make sense for a power boost or a speed boost and RAM boost. But yeah, like I said, for an eInk device, for what I'm doing with them, that's a non-factor for me. What the hardware things that I'm so concerned about or would buy this device for aren't even spec things. It's to get rid of that orange logo on the 3. Where is it at? All right, so you get the orange here. And I griped about that in many videos. And the new one doesn't have that. So to me, it's a win. Like, I get rid of the orange that I gripe about, and I get a little speed bump too, whatever. But the back plane, if you haven't seen the video, check it out. The back plane being improved on these newer devices that are coming out from Boox. I'm assuming this is going to be the same with the Palma 2 and the Note Max as well. So I think all the Boox devices going forward are going to have this new backplane system, because I think that's just, I don't think it's a Boox thing. I think it's a eInk Corporation thing, actually, where the eInk Corporation is going with the amorphous oxide backplane over the amorphous silicone backplanes that they were using in the past. So I just think that's a shift for the eInk Corporation, and therefore it's a shift for the industry as a whole. But regardless, that's just what the new technology is. But I'll take the faster refresh rate that that technology offers, but that's all I would even care about. It doesn't make the brightness of the screen better. I mean, maybe it could eventually make the brightness of the screen better, because it would make the distance between the two panels thinner, because that part of the display would be thinner, and it's getting thinner all the time. So maybe that does help with the brightness of the display over time, but not right now. Those are the things I'm looking forward to for the Note Air 4C, and it's basically all software stuff and the logo thing. I really want to get rid of that logo. But hardware wise, the specs are nothing to write home about. What else am I excited about for the Note Air 4C? That's it. The faster refresh rate seems exciting because things happen quicker and in a more precise manner. And like I mentioned in that video talking about the backplanes, the pixels or the pigment is more precise in its movement, which does help with contrast. That's something you can look forward to as well. But yeah, that's it. Let's go ahead and move on to the Note Max. All right, so the Note Max is a device that I'm super excited about, hardware-wise and software-wise and all kinds of otherwise. It's a wise device. It's smart. That device is smart. The thing is the 13.3-inch screen. That is the thing about this, right? Because that's the next size I was going up to, and I thought I was gonna have to go and get the Tab X to get that size, and kind of deal with not the headaches of the Tab X, but then I'd have to deal with the writing surface on the Tab X. And from what I understand, all of the Tab devices have that glassy screen. They don't really have a writing surface like the Note devices do on them. So I know how that sounds with my Tab that I have over here. And writing with a ceramic nib on a Tab device is like scratching on a whiteboard. Oh, I said whiteboard. I meant a blackboard. It's just not a pleasant sound. But when I'm writing with a ceramic nib on the Note devices with their like paper-like film, I'm good. It feels good, sounds good, everybody's happy. That would have been my gripe with going to the Tab X. That would have been my only gripe. But this Note Max solves that. You get the 13.3-inch screen, you get the writing surface, right? You get spec bumps, you get Android 13. I mean, you get that new firmware that adds widgets everywhere. Like, come on, man. That is really compelling for me, especially since it doesn't have a front light and it doesn't have color. So the contrast is going to be really good. It's going to be on par with the Go 10.3. In fact, like Kit said in his video, this device probably should have been called the Go 13.3. I mean, seriously, it looks just like it. The back looks just like the 13.3. And I initially said and thought that the back and the whole device was metal. It's not. It's probably made in the same vein with the plastic back and with the faux leather that the Go 10.3 has, which would make it super light. They may have a metal frame around it. I hope it does, because the Go 10.3 does as well. But this metal frame looks to be more squared off, not so much rounded like their other Note devices. But regardless, I'm still looking forward to the device because of all that it represents. The biggest eInk display you can get, which is like literally the size of a sheet of paper. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And it just gives me a bigger canvas to do a lot of the processing that I want to do on these eInk devices that just doesn't make a lot of sense on the smaller screens. So yeah. All right, so moving on to the next topic, which would be the Palma 2. All right, I don't have much to say about the Palma 2 other than they need to make a phone. They just need to do it. Just make a phone. The Palma 2 is perfect for it. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Like, they've gotten really good at making the Palma 2s, and this is only the second one. Like, they're good enough to go mainstream, and they have. This is the most mainstream device that I think Onyx makes in the Boox lineup. I mean, nothing is out there on social media and out in the wild as much as that Palma line of devices. So they've got lightning in a bottle with this, and I would imagine they want to make more iterations of this to make it even more better, to kind of dial it into that phone market even more, or even just to get more saturation, to get more mind share, that there is a device like that and how good it can be for people and how people like and enjoy using it. So I think when they get a couple more iterations of this, they're definitely going to do a phone. And this is Boox we're talking about, so it may not even be a couple more iterations. We might see one next year. So I don't think they mind doing things like that and making those kinds of leaps with their devices and technology. So, but yeah, I think the Palma 2 is an awesome device. I actually want to get that myself, not because it's a compelling device for me, but because it's so mainstream that it's something I want to have some experience with because it's so mainstream, right? So I would love to deal with it just for that aspect alone and to have some experience with something that everyone else is having an experience with too. Even people that are outside the niche eInk community. And just to be in a loop with mainstream devices is something that I definitely want to do, eInk or otherwise. So this just falls into that category. All right, everyone, that's going to be it for me. Those are my intermediate takes on this technology. I'll have more takes on this when I get the Note Air 4C in, like I said, hopefully at the end of the week. And I'll have more takes when we get more information about the Note Max, because we don't have a lot of information about that, right? Not a lot of pictures or anything like that either. So we're still waiting on all of that. But I'll definitely make me a video and pass out that information if I get any. All right, everyone. Till next time, take care.